When we last left our heroes, they had traveled up to the town of Aramoor to investigate a series of disappearances, and while they were resting at the Jade Dragon Tavern, they saw smoke rising from the north end of the city. They ran over there to find that a band of skeletons were attacking the Wiggins apple orchard. Boznak was the first to go, and used one of his alchemical mixtures to buff Vareol and increase both his health and damage. The skeleton archer was next up, and he got a critical hit against Flynn and dropped his health to 4 HP remaining. Vareol attacked the skeleton swordsman and cleaved him in half, and the skeleton crumbled to dust upon dying. The skeleton spearman struck Flynn with his attack, and this was enough to down him. The initiative looped back to Boznak at this point, and he quickly crafted a vial of alchemist fire and flung it at the archer. This was luckily enough to kill the archer, and he also crumbled to ash. On Vareol's turn, he killed the spearman, and he crumbled to ash as well. As soon as combat was over, Boznak used one of his elixirs of life to bring Flynn back up. However, by this point the farmhouse itself had burned down. We should probably get out of here before the guards arrive. There's no evidence that those skeletons actually existed, so it probably looks like we just burned down the farmhouse ourselves. Stop right there. I'm Constable Maros of Aramoor. You've got to be kidding me. What happened here? A band of skeletons attacked the Wiggins apple orchard, and we got here and killed them, though sadly we weren't able to save the farmhouse itself. And where are these skeletons now? They turned to ash. And where is this ash now? It, mixed in with the ruins of the farmhouse, but trust me, they were here. We think that this might have something to do with the people going missing. Just trust us and we promise that we can solve this problem for you. Alright, fine. I'll trust you this time, but if you get caught with any more crimes in the town, then we're adding arson to the list of charges. The constable and the guards started to search through the destroyed farmhouse for anything that could be salvaged. Meanwhile, the party went back to their room at the Jade Dragon Tavern. What did everyone learn during our investigations here yesterday? This one boat captain told me that there was a shipment of copper that was supposed to arrive here, but then never did. I learned from the constable that there was a bounty of 75 silver on the case, and none of the carts on the road up north are making it to their destinations. Yeah, I also found out that bit about the thing. You didn't investigate, did you? Nope. I bought this. Is that a jellyfish lantern? Yep, I named him Jimmy. Anyway, I think that the only real lead we have at this point is that the roads aren't safe. So I think we should go up north and see if we can find any destroyed carts or monster tracks or anything like that. The party immediately headed out along the north road, and after a day of searching they still hadn't found anything. However, in the night while they were sleeping, Vareol heard rustling sounds coming from a bush nearby their camp. Who's there? Show yourself! The bush answered his declaration by firing a poison dart into his neck. Do you really think that your poison would work against a true warrior? Vareol proceeded to fail his fortitude saving throw, and he passed out in the middle of their camp. At some unknown time later, the party woke up tied to trees at the edge of a small clearing without most of their gear. The clearing had a few tents in it, and there were some lizard folk cooking a large chunk of meat over a fire pit in the center of the area. Boznak, is that you? No way, it's been so long since I've seen you, Harnik. How's the bronze mining industry going? Well, it was better before I got captured and had my bronze stolen. Fair enough. How about the family? They were always pretty cool. Oh yeah. Barrick died when the lizard folk bandits attacked and captured me. He was on guard that night. Oh, damn. I'm sorry for your loss? Though while we're on the note of bandits, we need to find a way out of here soon, because I have a sneaking suspicion that we might be next on the menu once they finish cooking Barrick. Vareol easily broke the ropes tying them to the trees. You all stay here and pretend to still be captured. I'll go get our gear and bring it back. Vareol snuck into the bushes and began to sneak to the other end of the clearing where their gear was stashed. And this was when Flynn had an idea, and he shouted to the lizard folk, Vareol escaped and ran off that way. You've got to go stop him before he can bring the entire city guard to hunt you down. 5 of the lizard folk immediately grabbed their weapons and sprinted in the direction that Flynn had pointed, which also happened to be the opposite direction that Vareol had actually gone. Once they left the clearing, both Boznak and Flynn got up and bolted across the camp to the other side and grabbed the big crate holding all of their gear and started to flee with Harnick. However, since Vareol had been slowly sneaking across the clearing, he was the last one there. And once he saw the remaining lizard folk start to chase his friends, he grabbed a large branch off the ground and stepped out of the shadows into the clearing to fend them off until his friends could escape. However, this was also the moment when the 5 lizard folk from before had realized they'd been tricked, and they returned to the clearing, surrounding Vareol. Vareol quickly thought of a plan and ran over to the cart of raw bronze that was sitting at the edge of the clearing and used all of his actions to slowly push it up the hill, with the lizard folk right behind him. As it got to the top of the hill, Vareol jumped over to the other side of the cart and it began to roll back down the hill, which happened to be right where the lizard folk were. It crushed or knocked over almost all of them, and Vareol was able to use this distraction to flee from the camp and meet back up with the rest of the party. The party and Harnick began making their way back to Aramoor to rest, just as it began snowing for the first time that winter.